Okay, I think this will start to be clips of Miss Pac-Man 7, maybe. If not, it's 6. I don't remember. So anyways, here, made a daisy chain for the controller. I have an extra long lead coming off to... I don't know if I'm going to pin them into a Molex connector so I can unplug the control panel, or if I'm just going to hardwire it. But either way, I have an end for that, and I also have an end for the button ground, which my buttons have 110 connections, and wouldn't you know it, the 110 connection that I brought with me to put on the end for the button, I mindlessly grabbed it while I was doing the 187s here, and well, I crimped it on there, so now I can't finish it until I get a 110 connector. Just my luck. But look at these crimps. Look at my crimping here. It's beautiful. Now that's some professional crimping. That's 2 wires in there. Look at that. Look at that, boys. Might not be the best, but I'm pretty impressed. Hey guys, it's really windy and raining out here, or snowing, whatever you want to call it. Rain, snow. So let's take a little look here at the TV farm. Gonna be looking for a 19-inch skinny neck tube. That might be a 19. Let's see if we can have a little peek down in here. I can't tell. What size is this? 14-inch. I hope I have a 19-inch somewhere. Bet you that guy right there is. And this one. Well, this is a fat neck 19. What's this? Sorry. I don't know. Is this a 19? It don't look like it's very curved. Okay, this is the old Operation Wolf tube. So this Toshiba here might be a 19. So I'm gonna pull it off the shelf and see if I can see what neck size it is. All right, guys, we got ourselves a skinny neck 19. Is there a reason why I didn't use this tube? Did it not work? Is there something wrong with the glass? A lot of fly shit. I don't see any scratches. Alright, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this tube in the house. I'm going to put a towel on my shower floor. I'm going to lay the tube screen down. And I'm literally going to wash the shit right off of this back of this tube. And get it real nice and clean. I have a 19-inch K7000 I bought off a guy whose name was Lyle, I believe. I met him at Summit Racing in Summit County or Talmadge, Ohio, to pick up the monitor. I found it on eBay. Complete monitor, frame, chassis, tube. So this is part of the Miss Pac-Man project here. So I'm gonna give my wife a hopefully what turns out to be a nice tube, and a K7000 in there. It's okay to wash your electronics. Just make sure it's dry before you put power to it. That's when things go snap, crackle, and pop. So we want to get this nice and clean. Super hot water, all the way hot. Hey, these are good convergence rings. That's awesome. Alright guys, here is the eBay monitor that I picked up locally. It's a K7000, 19-inch. It's got some screen burn, not a whole lot, but warrants me to change the tube. I don't like screen burn unless it's the game that it's in, you know. I already pulled the anode off. As you can see, I find something weird here. I don't know if it's kind of do this on camera. These three pots have been changed. They're not factory. I'm not even sure if these caps are factory. And this may have been recapped at one time. Flyback's cracked, so I'm just gonna change it. I don't give a shit if it works or not. It's got a crack in it. It's eventually gonna leak if it works, and it's gonna tear stuff up. So the guy I bought this off of, I believe he said he couldn't get it working, or it didn't work, or he didn't know anything about it, which is fine. But I'm hoping that he didn't plug it in to 120 without, you guessed it, having an isolation transformer. Because we know what happens to diodes D20 and 21 when that happens. A lot of convergence strips. Have you guys ever noticed that arcade monitors have a lot of convergence strips and household TVs don't? Was the consumer TV tubes better picks out of everything? You know, as they were putting the tubes together, like, oh, this one right here, this is a consumer grade, and it goes into a better pile, and then the crappier pile that has to have all these get sent to arcade monitors. But look at this, guys. Maybe. I don't think this neck board's ever been off. Not unless the glue slid off of this part, so let's potentially take this off for the very first time. Oh, nope, it's been off before. That was a fake out. Alright, well, I'm going to pull this chassis out. I'm going to wash it, clean it up. I'm going to pull the flyback off and decap it, recap it, put a new flyback in. Do some reflowing and stuff like that. If I find anything like blown diodes or anything, I'll come back on. Alright guys, this is Vindicator C&D section. We're going to be putting in the paper tonight. So if you watch a few videos back where I did a little walkthrough of a arcade and pinball place, this is the guy, and this is the article about it. So today's date, or well, tomorrow's date will be March 5th. So if you want to know more about that, then go to probably vindicator.com and read up on it. There you go. Let's go. First thing I noticed though, right away, let's get some light here. Let's look at this. The horizontal shifting from center left or right. This ain't even hooked up anymore. It's completely corroded off. And that's as far as I got. So I'm gonna start checking more stuff. I'm gonna check diodes here. This may have blown out the HOT, I don't know. So I'll be checking that. It could have not worked just because this wasn't in circuit. Check how dirty this chassis is. Nasty. Alright guys, I have unhooked the neck board. Tested the voltage rectifier section diodes. They tested all okay. The fuse isn't blown, so we didn't have any mega shorts anywhere. Tested B plus resistor, had 195 ohms I believe. So the voltage regulator's not shorted. I've tested all the major components in here, and it was all within spec. Tested the HOT, it's not shorted. But I didn't test the critical safety cap, so I'll do that. And I'm gonna pull these 3 pots out, and then I got this parts chassis here that I'm gonna pull these 3 off of, put the right pots in there. Then I'm gonna wash all this stuff and then start assembling it. Flyback's out. All the caps are out. Got them here. Got a flyback, a cap kit with a B plus filter cap. Gonna pull this clean up this ground area so it can be resoldered. I think the new cap goes right here, so I'll have to pull this cap off. And so where's it at? There's some kind of resistor on this. I think it's probably just to make it work, hopefully. So for video reference, if I can't get something to work, this did have a resistor on it. So here's the other 2 pots. Here's the wire, the horizontal position. That's what I call it. Either adjust to center, left or right. You can see how corroded it was. I got one off the parts chassis, resoldered in here. I would say if I didn't have this, I would have just trimmed this wire to a clean spot and unsoldered the pin and stuck it down in there and soldered the wire directly down in there. Now there was a mod that jumped from here to here. I don't know what it is. It's not on any other chassis I've ever seen, so I did remove it. Hopefully that's not a fatal mistake. It's time to wash this sucker. Okay. When I was testing all the major components in here that normally get tested, I kept feeling like something wasn't right, like I was missing something, because I am. R96 is missing on this chassis. R96 is to be here and here. That, to me, and I mean I could be wrong, looks like factory solder, like it was missing to begin with. And now I'm kind of thrown for a loop. See why you got a reflow? That just don't look right. Just don't look right to me. Yeah, it's missing R96 and I have no idea why. Is that what this mod that jumps across here is for? I don't know. I don't know, guys. That looks pretty shitty. Have to clean that up. Anyways, R96 isn't installed on here, so I'm gonna have to get a hold of some monitor people that are a bit smarter than me, so they can maybe say, yeah, dude, that's supposed to be like that. Alright. Pulling the fuse out, you know, to wipe the contacts off, I noticed this right here. There's not any spring left in here, so this holder will have to be replaced as well. So far I'm missing a R96, which I don't even know how this can run without an R96. This horizontal positioning wire was rotted and corroded off. This fuse holder is not up to par, and there was different pots in here, and I'm gonna have to find a 10K pot because I was mistaken on the parts chassis. That was already gone, and so is the vertical position and vertical hold, which is also 10Ks if I recall correctly. So they're gone on there too. So I'm gonna have to find a 10K pot that's like this, or I'm gonna have to put the old one that was in here back in. I'm asking Mike if you know, there's ever a mod that the R96 is missing, because I've never seen a chassis with the R96 missing. I do have one here. I'm afraid to put it in, and it's not supposed to be in there, because that really looks like factory soldering where the hole's closed. Let's get down in there. Maybe not. Maybe somebody pulled it out and it's just was really flowed when I pulled it out, and it mounded up. Looks factory. I've never seen a chassis without R96. And when I was testing these components, I thought I was missing something. So I washed the yoke. It was filthy. Alright guys, pulled the yoke off this tube. I'm gonna put the chassis yoke on this, and the convergence rings off this tube back in the same spot. Had a little bit of wires coming loose, so I kind of glued them down with fingernail polish. Alright, so I have this Toshiba TV here. Wells Gardner yoke, Toshiba's convergence rings, and then obviously the Wells Gardner chassis. There was a couple things on here that I didn't recognize from other 7000s. I have to assume this chassis worked at one point in time with those anomalies on there, so I left them alone and just new flyback, recapped, and reflowed. Fixed that fuse holder piece and put a few original pots back in. I still have to keep that one over there. I'm gonna dig and see if I can find a 10K, the same style as them, to put on it. I do not have the DeGauss coil hooked up because this tube don't have one, so that must have been why it was open, because I robbed it. So hopefully the tube's good. If not, well, I'm kind of screwed. All these are set back to center. These are all set to center because I'm probably going to have to do some adjusting at first. So this section of the video is probably going to be long. I'm probably not going to be saying very much. So if you don't want to watch it because it's boring, then don't. If you want to see me make mistakes, then stay tuned. Alright. I couldn't get it right exactly with a test pattern generator, and sometimes that happens, so I'm going to try the actual PCB I'm going to run on this screen. I don't have the sound, 12 volts or anything. This is the wiring harness I made for this board. I didn't show any of that, but it is here. Got it pinned in over there. So let's take a look at this monitor. What the hell? Well, this thing just shut off. Cool. Blew it up already, right? So I am missing R83, which is supposed to be part of the vertical positioning circuit. It looks like there used to be legs there. R83 is part of the vertical position, along with R100 and R80, and up here R82. So I'm gonna repopulate that and see what happens. Alright, I got a lot of video with me messing around with this monitor. I don't know if I'm gonna put it all in because it'll just be hours worth of boring watching me do nothing. Basically, when I first fired this up, I could not get full adjustment of the vertical, and basically this chassis was missing R83 for some reason. So I finally figured that out and put it in. Now I can fully adjust everything on the vertical side. So I'm not quite happy with this tube, but convergence is off really bad. Wow, this is having a hard time focusing. So I'm gonna mess around with the yoke and convergence rings a little bit more, see if I can get a combination of the two and get them get it converged a little better. I'm trying to get my son to do it. He has a little bit more patience than I.